Hello, you're watching the World Newscast with me, Mariama Cham, and thanks for joining us. Authorities in Turkey have closed bars and restaurants on Monday as a means of curbing the spread of COVID-19 during Ramadan. The move comes amid rising numbers of coronavirus cases across the country. Authorities have also closed mosques to Tarawih prayers, a collective prayer performed every evening throughout the month for the duration of the Ramadan. We have more in this report by Binta Fati.
As the world continues to grapple with COVID-19, Turkey has closed bars and restaurants across the country to curb the spread of the coronavirus during the holy month of Ramadan. Restaurants, bars and cafes will only be able to offer takeaways or home delivery. The new measures came as daily new cases of the virus went on rampage, wrecking the health system of the country, justifying the need for more vaccinations. However, business owners who have been affected by the measures took a dim view of the issue. While some say it will make things difficult, others believe the action of the government is politically motivated.
As cafe bar employees, everyone is in a difficult situation. In this duration, even the big cafes that became brands that have been here for years have closed. The state's help is a joke. They don't provide any help that could help businesses survive. Everyone is in a difficult situation. Okay, there is a pandemic, but if the one that allows you to hold crowded congresses with your own audience and then say go work, but at the same time close venues, this is a lack of sincerity. This is not a preventive measure, it is an ideological approach. Ramadan is an excuse. Closing has nothing to do with Ramadan. This is like politics. In general, bars, bar staff, musicians, all of the people living in this sector are in a difficult situation. They are not able to pay. The rents of the venues cannot be paid, and most of the places had to close. We have to close. There is nothing to do. From tomorrow onwards, we will be closed. They say takeaway is allowed, but we don't serve takeaway, so we will have to close. 20 people were working here. We had to reduce our workforce. Now there are 2 workers, but it's not like anything is happening. We are waiting, but there are no customers.
Turkey continues to record the highest cases since the start of the pandemic. It recorded a total of 50,678 new cases in the past 24 hours, according to data from the World Health Organization's Global Health Observatory. The country has registered 3,903,573 COVID-19 cases and 34,182 related deaths as of Monday, according to data compiled by Johns Hopkins University. The holy month starts on April 13th and ends on May 12th in Turkey this year. Reporting for iAfrica TV News, I am Binta Fati.
Price hikes in basic food commodities continues to persist across the country ahead of the holy month of Ramadan. In an interview with iAfrica TV on Monday, vendors at the Latrikunda Savage market expressed concern over the skyrocketing price hikes as the predominantly Muslim country enters Ramadan. As the sister reports, many of the vendors are with the view that Ramadan should be seen as an opportunity to help others, not increasing prices at the expenses of the ordinary people. The sister reports.
The Gambia in recent months has experienced daily hikes in the prices of essential commodities such as sugar, rice and vegetables, cooking oil. The situation attracts concern from both sellers and consumers alike. While the consumers blame the traders on the sudden rise of basic commodities, traders and vendors argue that the importers are the ones responsible. To Jalika Mane, a vendor at the Latrikunda market, prices of essential goods are increasing every day. She added that many people see the month of Ramadan as an opportunity to make more profit.
This 1 month of fasting, people think they can enrich themselves by increasing the price of goods. Virtually everybody is doing it. The price of goods is increasing every day. Ramadan comes once every year, and I think people should use this opportunity to atone for their sins and help others. No one knows if you will witness the next Ramadan, so why do you have to increase the prices of goods?
Amiba also agrees that Ramadan is the time the price of goods get increased, urging the government to help them in tackling these challenges.
Goods are very expensive. The price hikes worries us a lot, especially we the women. Every commodity in the market is very expensive today. If the government could help control the prices of goods, it would ease our burdens.
According to Fatou Drame, the surge in prices of goods worries many, particularly the women of this country. She also called on the relevant authorities to help them in controlling the prices in the market.
When Ramadan is approaching, instead of reducing the prices, they use this holy month to increase the cost of goods. We encounter difficulties during the time of Ramadan. We want Adam Barrow and his government to come to our aid.
Ramadan is the 9th month of Islamic calendar observed by Muslims around the world as one of the 5 pillars of Islam. According to Islamic laws, fasting from sunrise to sunset is obligatory for all Muslim adults, lasting for a period of 29 to 30 days from sighting the crescent moon. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Daisy.
The government of the Gambia, in partnership with Imolan Sal, a construction company in Senegal, have signed a construction deal of $100 million 5-star hotel in preparation for the 2022 OIC Summit. The Tourism Ministry describes the project as the biggest investment in the tourism sector. Details of that in this report. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC, is the second largest intergovernmental organization with a membership of 57 states spread over 4 continents. The OIC organizes the Islamic Summit, which is the largest meeting attended by the rulers and the heads of state and government of its member states. The $100 million 5-star hotel is geared towards providing a luxurious accommodation to the guests as one of its main priorities of the OIC Secretariat. Gambia's Tourism and Culture Minister Ahmad Nkeba described the project as the biggest ever investment in the tourism sector.
The amount of money that is to be invested in this project is estimated to be $100 million. And I think that's a significant investment. It will be the biggest investment in the tourism sector by a private partner in the Gambia. Historically, that much I can quote, you can quote me for that. We hope that the project as conceived will be completed as designed and conceived. And indeed, the contractor, I'm happy, has taken note of the fact that you cannot build a hotel, 5-star hotel, less than 18 months. And time is not on their side. The minimum it takes you to build a 5-star hotel of this magnitude is 18 to 24 months.
Meanwhile, Abdoulaye Cham, chairman of Imolan Sal Company, gives a brief overview of the hotel and what it entails to do to Senegambians.
I am therefore making the following commitments. My company, Imolan, shall provide 100% of the financing of this 5-star hotel. The hotel is expected to be built between 18 and 20 months. The hotel will be the product of excellence, technical and engineering techniques, and will transfer knowledge and capacity to Gambian youth. I will significantly contribute to the local economy and create jobs, especially for the young people of the Gambia and Senegal.
The Gambia is the host for the OIC Summit 2022. As a result, the country benefits from projects ranging from building of first-class roads and world-class conference center to construction of a 5-star hotel aimed at making the will-be attending high dignitaries comfortable during their stay for the summit. In that regard, the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, Dr. Aissatou Touré, underscored the importance of building a standard hotel that will cater for the heads of state and their delegates as well as boost the country's tourism sector.
It is therefore my government's wish to achieve this objective as well as enhance the tourism potential of the Gambia through the development of first-class tourism facilities, hotels, lodges, and parks through the commercialization of certain operations pertaining to the Gambia's tourism development area. My government intends to achieve this through expansion of the tourist and income-generating potential of the tourism development area under its management by making various public-private partnerships, PPP opportunities, available to appropriate and reputable developers and tourism operators.
6 priority projects have been identified by the Secretariat. They include the Sadauda Karaba Jawara International Conference Center, which was inaugurated in January 2020, road infrastructure, VVIP Airport and Terminal renovation, King Salman bin Abdul Aziz Hotel, VIP cars, and delegate transportation and security. In 2022, world leaders from 57 countries will descend into the Gambia to take part in the world's second largest international conference. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Mariama Cham. Now, following the blockage of the Suez Canal for nearly a week in the Egyptian waters, authorities of the North African state says the ship is leaving until investigations and compensation arrangements are finalized. However, experts says investigations are not meant to determine who is responsible, but rather they want to establish how the grounding took place. The canal lost more than $10 million daily in transit fees during the 6-day blockage period. More in this report.
Egypt says the ship that blocked the Suez Canal last month will not leave the country until the investigations are over and the compensation agreement is reached. All of the ever-given data logs, captain communication recordings, and mechanical instructions have been retrieved. Experts say the investigations are not designed to determine who is responsible. Rather, they're analyzing how the grounding happened.
However the investigations unfold, marine law states that the ship's captain is responsible. When the canal's guide boards the ship, he becomes part of the captain's crew. Therefore, the company owning the ship, and in turn the insurance companies it contracted, are going to pay the compensation. The investigation's purpose is learning what happened so as to avoid similar incidents in the future.
During the 6-day blockage, the canal lost nearly $15 million daily in transiting fees. The cost of the grounding extends to include tugboats, dredgers, and manpower used to float the ship.
There is also the rescue reward, which is a maritime custom. The Suez Canal team was extremely professional in the rescue mission. The ship was saved without any damage to its body or any malfunction, which is rare in such cases. The daily revenues of the Suez Canal are not only from the transiting ships, there are also additional services provided to ships. All of this is being calculated and negotiated with the insurers. No figure has been reached yet.
Litigation could be complex though. The vessel is owned by a Japanese firm, operated by a Taiwanese shipper, flagged in Panama, and was heading to ports in the Netherlands. That could see the ship stay with its cargo for months if the dispute goes to international arbitration. Earlier, the chairman of the Suez Canal Authority, Osama Rabia, said compensations could go over $1 billion. Taking into consideration the financial losses and the cost Egypt paid for the rescue, experts believe the compensation will probably be much less. It's still going to be a decent amount. Expectation is it is going to be a 3-digit figure in millions of dollars.
400 personnel of the Gambian Armed Forces 1 Infantry Battalion have been promoted to various ranks, ranging from private, corporal, lance corporal, sergeant, and staff sergeant respectively. The promotion event, attended by the commander of the Gambia National Army and some parliamentarians, took place at 1 Infantry Battalion in Yundum Barracks. Details of that in the In the past, promotions in the Gambian Armed Forces were not based on merit but on subjective considerations that favored some sections of the army while setting out many deserving ones. Since the change of government in 2017, there has been progress in this front as armed officers are promoted based on merits and their commitment to duty. The Gambian Armed Forces has promoted officials from the Infantry Battalion 1. These young soldiers are said to have been promoted based on their hard work, dedication of their services to the armed forces. Lieutenant Colonel Per John Gomez, commanding officer of 1 Infantry Battalion, gives a breakdown of the promotion and also encouraged the promoted officers to never relent in their efforts as officers of the Gambian Armed Forces.
For the elevation to these ranks, a board was set up to look into each and every individual's personal file, examining their professional character and their willingness to work. The board, even though found it difficult, but was able to narrow down to the final selection to these chosen. Personally, I was not surprised at the final selection, as I am familiar with the excellent character of you all. Bravo and thumbs up to you all.
Brigadier General Usman Gomez, commander of the Gambian National Army, says promotion in the military is based on discipline, commitment, among others. He adds that in the absence of this, one cannot be promoted to ranks.
Promotion in the military may be seen as elevating an individual soldier or a group to various ranks, but it is actually entails more than mere elevation. Soldiers are expected to perform all assigned and even implied tasks to the best of their abilities and in line with the best practice of the military. It is based on this assessment evaluation that recommendations are made and eligible candidates are challenged with promotion to a new rank. Therefore, to cut it short, promotion in the military, as various speakers have already said, is based on commitment, hard work, discipline. You cannot be promoted in the absence of all these criteria.
According to the commander of 1 Infantry Battalion, 448 soldiers are promoted. 203 private officers were promoted to Lance Corporal, 181 from Lance Corporal to Corporal, 62 from Corporal to Sergeant, 1 from Sergeant to Staff Sergeant, and 1 from Staff Sergeant to Warrant Officer Class 2. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Mariama Cham. That GAF promotion report will take us to a quick break, and we will be right back with the rest of the news. Stay tuned.
They say we slept in one world and woke up in another. This global tragedy got humans together despite our social distancing. Our nature is taking a break. And giving us a wake-up call on what and who truly matters. Look around you. Hold on. Breathe. Count your blessings. Take time for self-renewal, for a better start tomorrow. Soon, life will be back. Meanwhile, let's stand apart together, with one heart.
Welcome back, and still on the World Newscast. The UN Secretary General, through his spokesperson Stefan, has expressed deep concern over the recent reports of violence and killings by security forces, describing it as terrible. The UN spokesperson told reporters on Monday that the Security Council have called for an immediate stop to the violence and invited the parties to pursue dialogue and reconciliation. Here is more of that.
On the global vaccination map, there is still a whole swathe of African countries awaiting supplies from Libya to Madagascar. These countries do not even feature in the WHO's vaccination statistics. The picture is similar in Central Asia, as well as individual countries such as North Korea, Cuba, and Bosnia. Addressing a special segment on COVID-19 of the Economic and Social Council Forum on Financing for Development, Guterres said the virus is dangerous everywhere if it's spread unchecked anywhere.
Just 10 countries across the world account for around 75% of global vaccinations. Many countries have yet to start vaccinating their healthcare workers and most vulnerable citizens. A global vaccine gap threatens everyone's health and well-being. The virus is dangerous everywhere if it spreads unchecked anywhere. And global value chains do not function if one link is broken. Some estimates put the global cost of unequal access and vaccine hoarding at more than $9 trillion.
The Secretary General said since the pandemic began 1 year ago, no element of multilateral response has gone as it should, as more than 3 million people have lost their lives.
Since the pandemic began 1 year ago, no element of our multilateral response has gone as it should. More than 3 million people have lost their lives. Some 120 million people have fallen back into extreme poverty, while the equivalent of 255 million full-time jobs have been lost. We have seen the worst recession in 90 years, and the crisis is far from over.
Imran Khan, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, in his opening speech to the forum, said the international community must ensure that the vaccine is available everywhere as soon as possible.
The international community must ensure that the vaccine is available to everyone, everywhere, as soon as possible. If not, the virus will roam around and come back. Production of the vaccine must be ramped up. Patent and technology transfer restrictions should be waived to enable this. Vaccine nationalism and export restrictions are deplorable, as is the use of the vaccine to advance national foreign policy objectives.
More than 600 million vaccinations have taken place worldwide, according to the World Health Organization. But while close to 100% of other nations' population have already been vaccinated, countries like Nicaragua are still waiting to receive their first doses of vaccine. The WHO Secretary General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus referred to the situation on Tuesday as a farce. He called for the global production to be cranked up and vaccines to be fairly distributed to tackle the acute phase of the pandemic. For iAfrica News, I am Fatoumata Kasim.
Now, Lamin Jawara, the new ferry service manager at the Gambia Ports Authority, has disclosed some of the plans his administration intends to take to improve ferry service. Mr. Jawara, the former technical director of ferry affairs, was recently appointed to head the ferry service department. He disclosed to iAfrica TV about some of the plans they intend to execute, such as scheduling departure for the ferries from the Banjul to Barra.
Despite the numerous challenges faced by GPA, the state-owned enterprise has been steadily growing in recent years in terms of the volume of trade it handles. Over the past, the development of the ports of Banjul has been done in various stages, including the ferry landing sites. The new manager of the ferry services, Lamin Jawara, disclosed some of the plans they have in order to improve ferry services in the Gambia. Jawara said one of their priorities is to schedule the departure of ferries from Banjul to Barra, so as to make traveling easy for passengers.
We have increased the ferries operating time from 7 a.m. down to 6 a.m. in the morning. So now you have the first ferry leaving Banjul at 6 a.m. and then the last ferry leaving Barra at 11 p.m. That is to decongest the terminal so that the longer operating time will allow travelers to stagger their crossing, so that people will not all come and try to cross at the same time. Another thing we are trying to do as of now, which we have started at as a trial, is the ferry departure schedule. Yes, so this departure schedule, we are anticipating that it will be hourly. Like every hour you have a ferry from Banjul.
As the availability of ferries at the terminal is limited, Mr. Jawara said they are working to increase more ferries at the ports to meet the demands of the public.
To increase the availability of the ferries at Banjul, so that we meet the demand at Banjul, because you will realize that even if we are operating the 3 ferries at the same time, we are not able to ferry all the vehicles and the trucks and passengers and then there is this gap. And in trying to fill that gap, our top priority is to get a new ferry at Banjul Bara.
The Banjul Bara ferry service is one of the Gambia vital economic lifelines and also an essential river crossing to Dakar. The journey time from the terminal and across the mouth of the Gambia River estuary is 35 minutes, and services start from Banjul from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. But with the incoming plans, the closing and departure time of the ferries are expected to change. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am DCC.
Now, South Sudan's government has secured a $174 million loan from the International Monetary Fund to help boost the economy of Africa's youngest nation. According to the country's apex bank, the money will be used for budget support, pay salaries, while part of the money will be kept in the bank as balance support. Civil societies in the North African country have not been receiving their salaries for the past 5 months. More in this report.
The Bank of South Sudan says it will use the $174.2 million loan to strengthen its monetary policy framework. The bank says the money will be used for budget support to pay salary arrears. It adds that part of the money will remain with the central bank for a balance of payment support.
We import most of the things from outside. And when you import things from outside, exchange rate sensitivities have a major impact on exchange rate, on inflation. So this loan will help us to stabilize the exchange rate. And if we stabilize the exchange rate, then automatically we will stabilize prices.
South Sudan's Apex Bank says the loan will be paid back on a long-term basis without interest. South Sudan's government has not paid salaries for civil servants for 5 months. The central bank says it is working to get its books in order by the end of the next financial year. The government says it is looking for alternative revenue sources to reduce dependence on loans.
We want to start a journey with our taxpayers, improving our services so that they can conveniently pay their taxes.
The central bank also says it is trying to unify the official exchange rate with the market rate. There are currently 3 exchange rates. One is set by the central bank, another by commercial banks, and a third one in the black market.
Now that South Sudan report will bring us to the end of the World Today newscast. I am Mariama Champ. Thanks for watching and bye for now.